Dr. Umar Johnson, welcome to Vlad TV.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Big fan of your work. Saw you on the Breakfast Club a few times.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're real close to Charlemagne. Charlemagne's been on the show with us for many, many years.
Okay. Okay.
So let's talk about your background. Where'd you grow up exactly?
North Philadelphia, North Central Philadelphia. Born and raised, still live there.
Okay. And what was the environment like when you were growing up?
We grew up humble. I wouldn't say poor because I think poverty is more of the spirit than it is of the economic realities in which a person lives. You know, my mother, my father, they did the best they can to raise us. They did a good job. Love them both. They still here on the earth, breathing air with me. I love North Philadelphia. It's home. It's where I come from. So my roots are still there. I still hang out there. Many of my friends are still there.
Now, what was it growing up in that environment that started to really kind of mold the kind of life that you went on to live?
I would say that began to take place when I was in fourth and fifth grade. I attended a elementary school, George G. Meade Elementary, named after one of America's Civil War generals. We had a mandatory Black history class, fourth and fifth grade, which was taught by Miss Vivian Green, or Lillian Green, Miss Green, who I incidentally ran into a couple years ago. And I think it was the Black history class that really gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, a sense of motivation. Subsequent to that, I went to my first family reunion with my father in Baltimore, Maryland. I believe I was in the sixth grade. And we were walking in the backyard of a church, and there was plenty of Frederick Douglass memorabilia there. And I asked my father, why is there so much Frederick Douglass memorabilia here? And he said, because you are related to him. And it was at that family.
See, Sabius, he's a human being, bro. He had a life just like you did, man. You know?
I never said he wasn't a human. Fuck. You mean like the life I gave you, how I took you to the family reunions when you was growing up, and then I would say, hey, Frederick Douglass ain't really related to us, but I'm your father's son, and you must respect your authority.
You ain't carry this hate with Dr. Umar, bro.
So,
I don't hate Umar.
do you guys agree with his what he thinks poverty is?
What, poverty's in the mind?
Yeah, like that's just fucking silly.
Yeah. Well,
If you're making 10K a year, you're in poverty. I'm sorry, pal. And if you have a great spirit, if you ain't got those zeros in your bank account, you're in fucking poverty. I don't care if you feel like you're a billionaire. That's silly.
Well, I don't think he actually gave an amount. He just said he wouldn't say poverty. He said he was humble, right?
No. But then he said, I don't believe poverty is anything to do with money. He was talking about some goofy ass Jedi bullshit about spirit.
I don't think he appreciated a white man saying that.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
This dude's a racist asshole from everything I've seen.
I mean, I do think Umar's racist. I can't argue with Mike.
He said this guy's a racist asshole.
That's coming from a white guy.
Yeah, I don't think that he liked that Vlad said that. I think he may have. I don't know what's in the brother brain, but I think he felt like, motherfucker, you can't say that to me. What make you think I was in poverty, motherfucker?
Because Vlad's a white dude, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of. He's Jewish.
Say, right? Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Okay. So yeah, I can see now why old Umar is angry.
Yeah, I don't think he really appreciated it. I mean, look at his shirt. Like, last thing he wanted some white guy telling him how he was living.
I feel like this is the kind of guy I'd walk up to in a bar and be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He'd be like, "How dare you say hi to me?"
No, what he would most likely say is, "How you doing? What do you mean? What's up? You want me to give you 5 on the black hand side, all that jive?"
Hold on. Now maybe I missed it, but did Vlad actually say you grew up in poverty, or did he just ask?
Did.
Okay.
Well, he had your background. Where'd you grow up exactly?
North Philadelphia, North Central Philadelphia. Born and raised, still live there.
Okay. And what was the environment like when you were growing up?
We grew up humble. I wouldn't say poor because I think poverty is more of the spirit than it is
Oh,
of the
that's a lie. He
economic
didn't ask.
realities in which a person lives. You know, my mother, my father, they did the best they can to raise us. They did a good job. Love them both. They still here on the earth, breathing air with me. I love North Philadelphia. It's home. It's where I come from. So my roots are still there. I still hang out there. Many of my
I do
friends
have
are
a
still
question
there.
for Omar though.
Umar.
Yeah, Omar. Okay, sure. My bad. So you grew up in North Philadelphia, but is anybody hearing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song when he says that?
Every time he said, every time he said it, I did. I didn't want to say nothing,
On the
but
playground, did you spend most of your
most of his
days?
days, yeah, I heard it. He take pride in Will Smith being from Philly, yeah, as he should.
I got some family from Philly, and they
You
take a lot
do,
of
and they
pride.
cool as
Yeah, they
fuck.
take a lot of pride that they're from
I
Philly,
like
and
your
so
family
I've
from Philly.
never knocked them for that. Hey, I've never really been to Philly like that, so I can't say. But hey, I know they family, they like it. But Vlad didn't actually say poverty, so this is all Umar's, I guess, opinion on poverty. So I mean, like, why did he say that
I
when
knew that
Vlad
was
didn't even
coming. That's
ask
why I
him that shit?
stopped laughing.
Like, just look at his face. Like, I have
Oh
nothing.
shit!
I'm gonna let him go through this video before I make a solid opinion. But he just has that face of like, you know, the meme of the girl who's like, "How dare you?"
Oh yeah, Greta
That's this
Thunberg.
dude right there. Look at that face. That's a Karen face.
I
I
love that
mean,
meme.
Vlad only asked him what was your environment, and then he went in and was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't say poverty. I'm just saying."
But again, and
That,
I hate to, you know, uh, re redirect my answer just to fit my narrative, but I do feel like he said that, like, yeah, I'm sure you thought I was raised in poverty, but I wasn't. That's a state of my, like, it's some kind of defensiveness there, in my opinion. You know,
I get what you're saying, but just because someone asks you what your environment is, I didn't detect a tone of superiority or anything. He just actually tell me
I
about
didn't either. I didn't either. I just, see, so I've been keeping up with Vlad since the very beginning of his career. And when I understand the energy right now. This was Dr. Umar first time sitting with him. And by the time Umar made it to Vlad, Vlad had already been called the culture vulture. Vlad said he's done. He's literally said, I'm done with that, all of that Pan-Africanist bullshit. I'm done with it. He said that in an interview. He said everybody that he's put on his platform and try to help, he's got into it with. He's got into it with Dr. Umar. He's got into it with Lord Jamar. He's got into it with Tariq Nasheed. Like and I can't blame him whether he's right or wrong, because I swear to God, it seemed like every time Vlad brings somebody from an African movement on his platform, he's into it with them as soon as he uploads the video, because they don't like something that he kept in. They don't like the way he's projecting them. They don't like the title of the video. It's always something. And that's what I meant when I said in our last part about war. Like, if some of my people feel like they're at war, it's like, bro, are y'all gonna complain about every fucking thing? Like, this man putting you on a big platform, and y'all next move is to get into it with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
well, okay, I hear what you're saying. I will say, just disclaimer, I am not a fan of Vlad. I do believe Vlad is a culture vulture for other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Jamar would probably be one of the things that I remember discussing with Godfrey on the Godfrey podcast and stuff. So I do think Vlad is a culture vulture. However, like I said a few minutes ago or seconds, I just from this interaction with Umar, I didn't detect anything of hostility or superiority. So I do think Umar is, like you said, kind of
Defensive.
complaining about everything. Defensive, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Vlad's tight.
I was about to say, I don't think Vlad's a culture vulture.
I don't know about that, but I think he has some really worthwhile interviews on his channel that are really pretty well put together and worth watching.
Yeah. Now he has asked some uh distasteful questions before, but one thing that I noticed is like if like 2020 if somebody was to ask the same questions, people wouldn't complain. Like everybody original complaint about Vlad was, oh yeah, he's the feds and he gets black guys to go on their platform and incriminate themselves. It's like, man, speak for y'all fucking self. If you get your dumb ass up there and talk about how many murders you did, fuck you. Like don't he like I don't expect him to hold my hand and think for me like I'm some fucking incompetent ass creature that like, oh Vlad, please tell me when I'm talking about something illegal. Like, what the fuck? You getting up there because you worried about being robbed as a rapper, and you want to get up there like motherfuckers know what it is. Look how many bodies behind me and my squad. Like, okay, then the feds get on your ass and then use that interview as evidence. You like, oh, they use Vlad footage. He the feds. Like, I was like, bro, these motherfuckers
I agree
crazy.
with you on that. Paradise need to say something before he fall asleep.
Hmm? I'm falling asleep.
No, he ain't falling asleep.
So
Yeah, man. And that's probably why I meet that that title with resistance with people calling Vlad a culture vulture because that it started with Dame Dash saying that he was a culture vulture. Him and what's his name, Leo Corin. I kind of feel like he a culture vulture for sure, but he lumped Vlad in, and he was mad about something too, like a title or something that Vlad put up. Like, I don't know, a lot of these dudes be prima donna bitches to me, man, for real. Vlad did have done some things that I don't agree with, like with Godfrey. I'm gonna use Godfrey, not Lord Jamar, because I didn't like the way even though Lord Jamar was right for the Farrakhan situation, like as far as like wanting Vlad to
apologize.
apologize.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he did it. Like he did to me like that typical shit that I don't like what black guys do. Like I like they talk to a white guy like he not a man, and then they expect a good outcome out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like Vlad's supposed to be your friend, and then, when that shit happened, he was white boy this, white boy that. And I told him he got to apologize. Like, bro, he a man. He not a fucking kid. You can't. And I think that's why Vlad met them with so much resistance. Like, I ain't doing shit. Now that you said it like that, and I respected it. Not because I like Vlad, anything like that. I respected it as just a man, no matter the color. Like, nigga, don't talk to me like that and tell me what the fuck I got to do. And then before I can even respond, tell me you're gonna take our friendship off the table, say that shit publicly and diss me. And no, now I'm not apologizing for shit now. Fuck y'all. Fuck the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? They fucked that up. But I say Godfrey because Godfrey handled it with more tact. So it's just like me saying something to offend y'all, right? You got Mr.Fife saying, I'm just looking for an apology. You got Kira that's saying, as long as he apologizes, cool. But then you got Sabia saying, well, I'm gonna slap the shit out of him if he don't apologize. Now I'm like, I'm not apologizing for shit. And then, it makes me look like an asshole because I probably was wrong. But the way you responded made me give resistance to it. So now all of y'all just stop fucking with me. That's what happened with Vlad and Jamar and Godfrey.
Well, I would maybe you're right. Like I was looking at it from more Godfrey perspective because I actually watch Godfrey's
Mhm.
podcast. I don't watch Jamar's podcast. I've seen a few here and there, but I
Yeah,
don't watch them as frequently as I watch Godfrey's. So I'm taking it from perspective from what Godfrey,
Godfrey cool as hell.
yeah,
Vlad,
and
if I was Vlad, I'd have said Godfrey as a friend, in the relationship we got, I'll apologize to you, but fuck Jamar, like the way he's coming at me, like he was Jamar, and I fuck with Jamar, but I'm looking at it as just being a human. I'm like, man, the way Jamar coming, it's like he's sunning Vlad and challenging his manhood, which is making Vlad put up resistance. And then Godfrey, like, man, I'm your boy, man. You did something bogus, man. You see it's hurting me. You ain't gonna apologize. And Vlad just like, nah, fuck that. You over there riding with him. He over here talking all of this crazy shit about me. Fuck that. And I kind of felt them. Like I probably would have handled the same way, but I'm man enough to compartmentalize shit too. I just would have been like, fuck Jamar. I apologize to you, but I'm not gonna even acknowledge his shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah. So I'll play the rest.
Now, what was it growing up in that environment that started to really kind of mold the kind of life that you went on to live?
I would say that began to take place when I was in fourth and fifth grade. I attended a elementary school, George G. Meade Elementary, named after one of America's Civil War generals. We had a mandatory Black history class, fourth and fifth grade, which was taught by Miss Vivian Green, or Lillian Green, Miss Green, who I incidentally ran into a couple years ago. And I think it was the Black history class that really gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, a sense of motivation. Subsequent to that, I went to my first family reunion with my father in Baltimore, Maryland. I believe I was in the sixth grade, and we were walking in the backyard of a church, and there was plenty of Frederick Douglass memorabilia there. And I asked my father, why is there so much Frederick Douglass memorabilia here? And he said, because you are related to him. And it was at that family reunion, the Bailey family, that's when I learned I was related to Frederick Douglass. So I think the fourth and fifth grade Black history class with the sixth grade encounter of realizing I was related to arguably the greatest Black leader in American history, I think that kind of set me on my purpose, and it was solidified after I graduated from Millersville University, became a school psychologist back in the year 2000, and found how special education and ADHD were being used as weapons of mass destruction against African American boys. And so the purpose found its rooting in advocating for our children within the miseducation machine.
Mm-hmm. Now you got your doctorate?
Yes, sir. From the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine, July of 2012, American Psychological Association approved program. I would add a disclaimer to that. As you've probably seen in the world of social media, some of the brothers and sisters in my community have created or falsified claims that I did not have a doctorate. Part of that stems from the fact that I never advertised the schools that I graduated from. Obviously, when I speak at universities, they have to vet my background, so I have to provide that information to them. The reason I never advertised the universities is I know that many of them would take issue with what I stand for, what I'm working towards, and my opinions on things. So if I ran around saying I went to PCOM, if I ran around saying I attended Millersville University, if I ran around saying I have a master's in educational leadership from Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, some people might draw the erroneous conclusion that they support my work. And so out of respect for those institutions, I don't go around with a banner with their names on it, because I feel that who I am and my reputation and background is sufficient to support the premises that I stand on.
Now, how many years did you end up going to school?
5 years of undergrad, Millersville University, double majored, psychology and political science. I actually put teeth into the creation of that school a couple of years ago. We're interested in will not get as much attention as an underachieving African-American male athlete who may be failing 3 or 4 subjects in school, but because he has a great jump shot or he can catch a football, he gets celebrated more than the academic achiever. So I think we, as the African-American community, have to look at that, but we also have to realize that America has a history of undervaluing the intellectual achievements of African-American people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, you're actually trying to own your own school or buy your own school? Like, explain that to me.
The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy is a school that I conceived of a very long time ago, but began to actually put teeth into the creation of that school a couple of years ago. We're interested in acquiring the St. Paul's College, Lawrenceville, Virginia. It's an HBCU, closed down about 3 years ago, and has just been sitting there unoccupied for 3 years. There's a $2 million price tag on that property. We've raised $700,000 over the past year and a half to try to acquire that property. However, although St. Paul's is still very much an interest of mine, I'm beginning to change my sights and start looking at other schools, because having sat for 3 years, obviously the quality of the upkeep is a concern. I had someone go and do an inspection on the school, a realtor who told me I would need to put at least $1 million into the property after I purchase it. So it's not looking as bright as an option as it used to. Still want it. If they called me today and said, listen, bring us that 700,000 and we'll work with you, I'm on my way. Make no mistake about it. But because they're not offering to work with me, I have to start exploring other opportunities, such as starting with a regular community school, 300 to 500 students, and then evolving into the residential academy that I want. But my concept is residential academy.
Hey Sabius, did you see him on Lord's Jamar channel?
No.
Oh my God, never mind. That shit was cringy as hell. The reason why I paused and asked is because that's what Lord Jamar was saying to him when he was on his platform. And man, Umar just snapped at his ass. Like it got
About the school that's been working on for years and still haven't done anything.
Well, he told him, man, you could open up something small, and then, like, if I remember right, Umar was like, "That's what I'm talking about." Black people always talking about, "Oh, I can do this, I can do that." You know, y'all go out buy $2 billion of Jordans every year and $4 billion in weed, but do you want me to downgrade everything and la 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 la? And he was just like, "I'm not gonna lie, I've been fucking with Umar for a long time. I actually met him, but man, that was the first time when he was on Lord Jamar shit. I was like if I was part of his juror, that wouldn't have been good for me to see that. I was like, I saw the fangs come out his ass. I'm like, oh my God, he's so ugly right now. Like he just
reminds me of a Bleach episode when the Iron Tide.
man, it was cringy as fuck. Like I was like, wow, like he bit his head off. He bit Jamar head off for even insinuating stars small and shit like that. And
He was not pushing P.
He was not pushing
Not
P at
pushing
all.
positivity. Nope.
Not at all.
It was not truly humble under God either.
Man, I'm surprised you didn't see that. That was let me see. Let me see if I can find that clip right quick. Hold on.
I'm wrong with that though.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And human behavior says Americans make racist assumptions based on people's names. Now, this, of course, made us think about the viral video that listed the 60 most ghetto names. And here are their top 10. My boys.
United States of America Liqua, Alejandra, King Kong Quisha, Fried Chicken Nisha, Collard Green Grape Drank Isha, Africa Nisha Niqua, Kashida, the Tanyana Bovine Nostria Niqua Court.
Just to bring it back, can we take back racist and say discriminatory? Because I think that's a better word.
Yes, it is a much better
That's
word.
a better word, and I am very discriminatory against words like the ones that they were saying in those names. I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Andrea. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to hire you.
Really? That's not their fault. I would be such a beautiful King Kong Quisha, by the way. You guys know.
Okay, so people were not too pleased with what she had to say there.
Holy shit. You know
why are they just against her though? Why would they even play that on The View? Like that entire segment. Wow.
It is
like Raven Simone might have like she came up with her own name, but the name she came up with was in the same vein as the other name. That whole segment should have never aired. Like what? That's insane.
But she said she's not black.
That's what I said. I think she's out of touch anyway. I don't.
And she's
I
gay.
don't give
She
any
said she's
validity
not gay either.
What if she's not black? What is she?
You thought she was what?
I said if she's not black, what is she?
I don't know. What did you say, Sabius?
I said she was out of touch from the beginning, so I don't give any validity to what Raven Simone has to say.
She's black, but she says she's not black, and she's also married to a woman, but she says she's not gay. She says she's not. She don't like titles.
I was about to say, is she one of those non-title people?
Yeah,
like she doesn't believe in.
Oh, she's not a black gay woman. She's just Raven, who happens to like women and happen to be black.
She's so out of touch that I I just like just disown her, and then I just don't, like I said, I don't give any validity to what she says. It's kind of like what's
Keep
the old girl
Kanye out of
from
touch. She just don't have billions.
that? Well, Kanye is a little bit different. I'll put him on a higher level of standards than I do Raven Simone.
How? At least he know he black. This motherfucker talking about she not black and she's not gay. The very two things that she is.
Yeah, but see, she is a childhood star, and I think childhood stars live in a different fantasy world that is like make believe, and they believe in whatever it is they want to believe. Kanye West, he started off in the hood, shot. He didn't
Mr.
grow
Fife
up.
don't
He didn't
agree.
grow up a childhood star. You know, although I do think Kanye is bipolar and crazy. But like I
You
said,
cannot
I
say
put
he's
him.
bipolar and crazy. You will be sensitive to that man's mental disorder. Like they want everybody else to be sensitive to everybody else shit. I've seen where women have murdered their children and motherfuckers talking about you don't know what postpartum is like. It's hard. So if you can murder
Oh
your
no, that's
children and
crazy.
get sympathy, then I'm gonna
Has
give
he
him
been?
some sympathy.
Has he
Hey,
actually been diagnosed?
I don't
I'm
know.
not
He
giving
said
him
he has
He might just say
autism
that.
too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He might just be
Yeah.
one of them hypochondriacs. Look online and just claim different ailments. Until I see
And
the
I'm
papers,
not giving
I'm
them
roasting this
sympathy.
guy.
A woman that decides to kill her own children gets no sympathy from me. She legally, if she went through the labor of birthing them, she gets no sympathy from me. But I was just thinking, like Raven Simone. I don't know if she was a childhood star, but Stacey Dash is another one. I just think is just out of touch with reality. Like I don't even pay attention to what she says because she's liable to say anything. But I kind of put them in the same bracket. I
What was you
almost put
saying, Mr.
Mariah
Fife?
Carey.
Uh, I don't know. I think if we crucify them all, or if crucify one of them, we got to crucify the other. I mean, she made some ignorant statements, and then like Kanye claims he's a black Nazi. So I mean, I don't know if I could count him as a solid source either. So
He's definitely not.
when Kanye would have been the first one that they're like, oh yes, come take the shower, okay, take a shower, big boy.
Yeah.
What's that's the politician. I can't think of the lady's name, but she said, I think it was, I remember she was in the news for Kwanzaa. She said Kwanzaa was like a religion. I think her name was like Majorie or Green or something like that. Or she's a politician.
Okay.
And she said something like Kwanzaa was a religion. I just think, and she's a Caucasian. I was just like, yep, she's out of touch. She don't know what the fuck she's talking about. I just put her in a bracket, like her and Raven Simone. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're liable to say anything. But I don't even put them. I just disregard whatever the fuck they say, pretty much.
Do y'all think it was anything wrong with The View having that segment, making fun of not talking about how people discriminate based on names, but going through like the video showing all those people of different races from that they got off the internet making fun of those names like that? Do you think there was something? Do you think that was acceptable or that was unacceptable?
It was wild. The only reason it was wild to me is because everybody was laughing. You know what I'm saying?
I think it.
I mean, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
It seems like they were reviewing a video that was already the video that they were reviewing was in bad taste. I mean, something that ridiculous, it's hard not to laugh, especially if you're trying to sell something to get people to watch what you're putting out there. Like if you're just stone faced, not having any reaction, like
yeah.
But if it wasn't okay for, I'm sorry, say this.
I was gonna say, like, we deal with what's that, microaggressions and this form of micro racism stuff. I think that is heavily implied to be racist because they're implying only a particular race of people can come up with those names. Now, granted, I do find some sort of sense of humor in some of those names just because of my past experience with that in my life, but I do think it was inappropriate for the TV show. Honestly.
Right. Like one of the names was King Kong Quisha. Like you're literally comparing black people to apes. And then one of the people on The View said that name as a joke. So I don't see how what Raven did was worse than them having that shit on there in the first place. Like if you want to talk about the plight of people not being able to get jobs because of their names, then that's fine. But that entire clip to me was out of pocket.
I would say it is a stereotype, and in a sense that normally you only hear one certain type of race with those type of names.
There are some ridiculous names that people use, but
yes,
that shouldn't disqualify you from a job, number one. Because even if your name is whatever, Boom Quisha, I'll use a non super racist version. Even if your name is Boom Quisha, that has nothing to do with how intelligent you are, how skilled you are, how great you are at your job. Now, if you're in your 20s and you haven't caught on to using your middle name or changing your name, maybe.
Yeah, because I only found out Jamie Foxx won Jamie Foxx like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, and this might not sound right, but maybe not everybody's taught that. But in order to work in certain environments, you have to play a role, even if you're not an actor. I'll just say it that way. So if you want to work in corporate America, you might have to adopt a facade that fits in corporate America. You might have to leave
Some
all
names
your.
are just funny anyway.
Well, what I'm saying is like, you might have to be Jessica to work at someplace downtown. I don't know, wherever people shop. I don't know, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if if you was hiring a white woman for a job, if you was looking at hiring her, and her name was Karen, you would be like, oh, I don't know. Or if you a corporate entity, and you know that some of your investors may be like older white guys, and some guy last name is like Rainwater or something, you might be like, I know Tom's pretty fucking racist. He may pull out next year. You don't want to invest it if you see Rainwater on the board. You know what I mean?
Well, working in construction, there are some job sites you go to where people don't want you there, like 100%. Like they don't want you showing up on that job site if you are a person of color. I won't say where or what location. I won't give any details.
Right.
But there are several places where like there are certain groups that own lots of real estate in Chicago, and the fact that you have the audacity to exist and work on those job sites is somehow offensive. So I could easily see how a name on a resume would be completely overlooked just by the name, 100%.
We got all the way here because Jonathan Majors.
I mean, does anybody actually take The View with any validity, though?
No.
Literally
I
never.
take The View. I see The View as how Family Guys see it, in the segment they did. A whole bunch of chickens, clucking and laying eggs up there. That's how I see them.
I've literally never watched The View.
Who the fuck's watching TV?
Ever watched The View.
He said, "Who fuck watching TV?
Who the fuck watching TV unless you're like 45 plus in age?"
No, you have to be older than that, bro.
I said 48 plus.
Older
45
than that.
plus.
Nobody's 40 something.
I don't even think it's the age. It's just because I know some older guys and older women that don't watch TV either.
And even the people,
together.
even the people I know that are older don't watch The View.
Yeah, it's a different mindset. I think, yeah, I can't.
I'm salesman. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Imagine sitting there with a chick. Okay. I've got a Ferrari and a Lamborghini.
In GTA 6.
In GTA 6. Oh no, yeah, I've been to that club. Yeah, in Miami. Yeah, I've been to that club. In GTA 6. I don't take shit from nobody, man. I'm a boss. Everyone's scared of me. In GTA 6. Bro, no wonder you're jerking off. You little fucking worm. You're a dummy. You haven't got time for this shit. If you're going to dedicate time on a computer console to try and build up digital cards and digital fake money in a digital fake world, why not spend the same time on a computer console building up real cars and real money in the real world? I don't understand. Make me, Tristan, explain to me why your mates want to spend the same amount of time it takes to become successful in the real world, to become successful in a pretend play world. Please explain to me how your mates think.
Hi, Top G. This is from Bobby15.
Hi, Bobby.
If you lose all...
I think I can answer that question.
Okay.
It's low self-esteem. Like, if they can make themselves out to be whoever they want to be in GTA 6. They don't have to pretend. See, if they're in the real world, just to say they got low self-esteem, let's say they're not confident in their appearance, that's extra time they have to get into shape. Or even if they feel that they are attractive enough, even if they were in shape. Otherwise, you can just play the game and I guess live in a world of make believe and continue to make money. You could be rich in whatever time it is and have as many cars, and you could be a GTA top G.
Yeah, I would say also guaranteed results. Like in GTA 6, you're almost guaranteed to make it. Like there are no downsides to the game. Where in real life, when big risks come with big penalty, not just big rewards. In GTA 6, big risk comes with big rewards almost all the time. If you fail, it doesn't matter. You fail upwards eventually. But in real life, it don't work that way.
Yeah, when I first seen, I only seen like 30 seconds of the video, but when he said all of that, I'm like, dude, I literally like did everything. It's GTA in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I can go and rob the police, rob like 20 liquor stores, and start a gang affiliation and take over like the mob and rob the heist and banks. I'm not doing that in real life.
And so that actually, when I started playing GTA, that's what I was thinking. Like, this is so much better than the way I've been doing it. You know, the way I've been doing it, it costs a lot of lawyer money. I'm paying 50 grand for lawyers. I'm facing the most time I ever faced in 1 year was 80 years. Like, this is way better with the, I'm doing the same shit that I was doing in real life without the fucking,
the risk
of going to jail for the rest of my fucking life.
I will say though, the idea behind what he's saying does make a lot of sense. All the money and time you spend playing video games and buying the little cards to buy stuff in the game, if you invest that money in yourself to develop skills and stuff, and instead of playing the game, use those skills, you would be making money in the real world instead of making virtual money. So I get what he's saying. That's what I think he's a good salesman. Like I like.
But I've heard the same
pitch.
people. I mean, not the same people. I heard people say the same thing about podcasts.
What do you mean? But you make money on podcasts.
You can make money gaming.
Rare. It's a lot harder.
Rare to make money podcasting.
Well, depending on how you
like basically, I've heard podcasts and talked about like it's child's play. Like, oh, you get on YouTube with your little bitch microphone, talk shit. How about get you a real network? Like, like what did you say earlier before we start recording? Basically, like you can make something out of anything, when you don't like somebody. You can make anything seem like bullshit when you don't like somebody,
Well, yeah.
Even if you're a billionaire, like, oh, you're a billionaire, but you don't have a quality of life. You're not happily married. You know what I mean? You don't have a fucking family. You're just an asshole with a lot of money.
Yep. Like that dude who's big in longevity, he's a billionaire, and people come at him with stuff like that. Like, you look like a lizard man.
If I'm a billionaire, I'll just buy a family.
You could.
And I'll make them like me.
Yeah, you could. You could buy a family. That's true. Some people may think that's ridiculous. You can buy love.
Oh yeah.
You can buy
You want
love.
that green card? You better love me.
God damn.
Yeah. The only thing you can't buy is chemistry.
Chemistry can come over time.
It could come over time, but you can't buy it.
You can't buy it. Yeah. Like, you can have two people who aren't very compatible, but over time they can build chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's work. Like, you better off starting at a decent level to begin with. But
also, you do what you enjoy doing. If you enjoy podcasting and talking shit or whatever, and if it makes you money, that's even better. Versus doing something just because of the money that you don't enjoy doing or like doing.
The same thing can be said about gaming. Gaming has saved people's lives.
Yeah. Well, I'm not poo-pooing gaming. I'm a gamer.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm speaking of what he's saying. I think he's speaking to people who he feel like don't have the balls to step up to society and have the gumption to get out there and get something for themselves. They just,
I think most of his target audience is probably like the 19 to 27-year-old-ish. The dudes who are eating Cheetos in the basement, no girlfriend, no job, but just playing GTA-6.
That's Mr.Fife shit. You Cheeto eat motherfuckers. He loves saying that to people.
Well, he say that every now and then. Yeah. Tate says the Cheeto thing every now and then.
Oh, okay.
Man, fucking eating the mic, you disrespectful bitches.
Man, Fabius is the Cheeto eater out of everybody.
I don't even eat fucking Cheetos.
You put Pringles in a bowl.
I don't eat fucking Pringles, ho. I don't eat
like
Cheetos
in a bowl. The most offensive part of that was the bowl to me. I was like, why would you fail twice?
I told
you. Don't give me, at least give me what's something I fucking eat. I never like fucking Cheetos.
I told you I say like this serial killer channel on YouTube, and dude used the stock footage. This dude don't normally respond to comments neither, because I've been on this shit for a while. And then he used stock footage of the serial killer at home watching TV eating Pringles out of a bowl, and somebody commented and said, "You should have known something was up with that motherfucker. Who the fuck eat Pringles out of a bowl?" And he commented and was like, "I didn't even notice that," with a whole bunch of laughing emojis.
Yeah, that's just insane. That is a red flag.
It was neat too. It was neat as fuck in a crystal bowl and shit. I was like, yeah, that would have been a red flag to be like, why would he take all of those Pringles out like that? Like, you had to use like 3 cans to make that bowl. Like,
ladies, you go over dude's house, he got Pringles in a bowl, you get the fuck out of there.
That
is not normal. That is not normal.
That is a red flag, bro. Look at Andrew Tate. You guys, so you didn't say nothing when I said it. You do know he just got raided.
I didn't know.
Again?
I didn't know
either. Yeah.
Your money in your whole network right now, and programs, and programs like The Real World didn't exist. What would you do to make it?
Andrew, if my auntie was my uncle, what kind of stupid fucking question is that?
Yeah, it's basically, how would things be if things weren't the way they are?
If gravity didn't exist,
how would you stay in your house?
Bro, listen. I'm Top G for a reason. First, you get paid for what you do, then you get paid for who you are. I am Top G. There is no way I could ever be poor. because I know too many people. I am too competent. I have too much perspicacity and indefatigability. I'm that guy. I'm too concise and precise. I'm too fucking sexy. And for you to sit here and say, if the real world didn't exist, it does! I made it. And if I was any of you fucking worms at home, I would simply join the real world, follow the instructions, do the work, not be lazy, and I wouldn't be a brokey anymore. The fact that you sit at home, still broke, is remarkable. I know you want it because you play it in GTA 6.
Yeah.
I know you want it because you talk about it in the fake world. Here's how you get it in the real world. Here's a map. Here's how you get there. Here's exactly how it's done. Oh, what if it gets hard? Tristan's Mates! Heroes Year is available for anybody who actually fucking wants it, because your 2023 was a waste of time, and you cannot afford to waste another year. A great grandpa, why was he jerking off? Why wasn't he having a Heroes Year? 2024 would have been the year he escaped. Could have finally made money outside the Matrix. Too busy jerking off. Oh, it's okay. You know what? Tristan, our great grandfather failed our bloodline, but let's quickly check the PlayStation. Maybe he had a good character on GTA 6. Maybe it was worth our eternal damnation.
You know what? Some of the examples you give are actually so profound and so true. It's so
You can see him holding a laugh.
My grandfather had a chance to get my...
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's thinking that. I'm like, you don't believe that shit, motherfucker.
It looked like he was ready to just, he couldn't barely contain it about the bus.
It was ridiculous.
What you're saying right now is cutting edge. Oh, shit.
Bloodline free from the eternal slavery which is guaranteed to be bestowed upon the human race. And he failed us because he was busy. Let me check his PlayStation account, because maybe he has a good character on GTA 6, which will make it all worth it. The slavery, the endless injections, the fact I can't leave my home because I don't have enough carbon credits, but at least maybe he had a Ferrari on a video game. Maybe. You know the worst thing? They'll probably check their account and a lot of these people don't even complete the game.
Yeah.
67%.
Failed at GTA 6.
Failed! Here, go hard. Pussy. Pussy! You think
Like, what is that?
if either everyone in this stream or no one in this stream joins,
I guess you're supposed to be like a newborn baby or something. I don't know.
it makes a single fucking difference to us.
No, it doesn't.
It makes a difference to them, but does it affect us at all?
No, I get a slight amount of pleasure once a week talking to the massively successful.
I'm happy when I help people, but if people don't want to be helped, then fuck off.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, of course I don't care. Why
He
would
is
I care?
not pushing P.
We don't need you.
This is not pushing positivity. No.
This
He
is a
is
guy
not truly humble unto God.
This is a guy who's already made it talking like that. He feeling sexy. He's smoking a big ass cigar. He's got on his motherfucking little mink coat.
Look at his face. He looks like a little fucking mole rat.
Yeah.
Well, this is all a sales pitch to that demographic I was talking about. These are dudes who need. They probably were mostly raised in single mother homes. They've never had somebody look at them and be like, "You fucking up. Stop being a stupid piece of shit." And so he's filling that role. Like, hey, like I said, it's all a sales pitch. Like,
if all you need to do is to get rid of your fucking game and just have some gumption to get out there to be rich, more people will be rich. Like,
Follow this advice, become top G, get away the game. That's it.
Don't hate
And
your
if you
player.
complain about it, then you're a pussy.
This guy hasn't worked as hard as me. I guarantee.
I don't know what that thing is. I hope by the end he explains that shit. That shit is funny as hell to me.
We don't have that long, so let's see.
You need us. And if you don't trust us, don't fucking join. Go play GTA 6. Don't give a fuck.
I will.
But it's the winner's new year, and the last thing I want you to do is to sit around and hard cope. Because what you're doing is you're waking up lazy and lacking discipline and motivation, and you're saying, I'm a lazy dickhead now, but on the 1st of January I won't be. It's all going to change in 4 days. I'm going to be different. If you can't motivate yourself to do what is required now so that you're not a dickhead anymore, guess what? You're going to be a dickhead forever. So you haven't got time to waste. You need to work now. And I've already explained how God gives his blessings out. And you know I'm right. So if you can't dedicate yourself now, if you can't take advantage of the Heroes Year program that I have created and crafted specifically for undisciplined losers like you, well then, you deserve it.
Oh man, he never explained it. I've never seen a video where he did that.
Are you a Minuteman? Because if you could satisfy your woman, then maybe she'd want to get in bed with you more.
Hey, I might be a... You want to try and call me a minute, man? How about you take longer on a minute than on a treadmill?
She shouldn't have stood up, because I'll tell you what, I'd rather be a Minuteman than look like a minivan.
He needs some milk.
The Manatee County Fair, Linda Carson, ABC7, would you not eat my pants? Ah!
The gentleman in the glasses that hates women, I want to know if he ever had a date.
Hold on.
Or if he's ever been with anybody.
I don't hate women. Now, I'm sure you have multiple blouses and multiple pairs of pants at home, but you chose these because they were your favorite. They were better than the others. That doesn't mean you hate the ones you didn't wear. I don't hate women. Men
What
are
does
just,
that have to do with having a date?
Men are better than women. Yes.
That's not answer my question.
And
Take those stupid glasses off.
I'm sure
Show us
Dr.
your
Phil can
eyes.
back
Look at
me
us
up on
directly
that.
and show us how you look.
Women line up to date guys like me, and you've had them all on your
I don't see
show.
any women lined up at all. I don't see any women lined up to you, and I would definitely be at the end of that line.
Well, if you hit the treadmill a little more, you'd be at the front. What was that?
I didn't hear you because I'm sure it was something stupid, and I'm glad I didn't hear you.
That was the
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't either.
Don't you guys find it funny that she can insult him, but he can't insult her?
If you hit the treadmill a little more, you'd be at the front.
Oh, you bet your ass. She heard it. She just wishes her heart didn't feel it.
Why you ain't calling me back? We got a food truck, but no food. You gotta stop banging on my hood phone. Get out and slap fire at your old bitchy ass. Is that how you talk to your mother? She on the phone right now. You can ask her. She would slap fire to your ass with no hesitation.
Теперь он не ебаный алкоголик. И ты говорила? Молодец, парень. Красавчик, все разъебал, теплый. Нормальное дело.
I did not hear one single rhyme. Bro is just out there shit-talking.
After the break, we're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. He's blind. So we'll hear about that coming up.
Okay, as we head to the break,
Family, this neighborhood has certainly seen too many shootings, and last night it was Tabitha Jamison. She just turned 21 years old. She was about to start a new job next week. She was sitting in her car right in front of her house.
She don't even know how to clap properly. She was like,
I am against violence. I'm for self-defense. The audacity, obviously, to be racist and violent and then act as if somehow everybody else is absolutely wrong. Karenicity 101.
Did you guys see any violence? Because I didn't see any violence. I just saw a woman taking out the trash. Like a wise man once said, equal rights comes with equal lefts.
Miss Karen really learned a lesson the hard way on this particular day. This guy had just left work and he was hungry and he wanted to go get some food. So he went to the McDonald's drive-thru. Of course, McDonald's drive-thrus have 2 windows. The first one you pay at, and the second one you get the food. As that guy was paying for his food, she decided he was taking way too long, and she starts honking non-stop for like 30 seconds. And the guy says, you know what? I'm gonna teach her a lesson. I'm gonna pay for her food. And that's just what he did. He paid for her food. And when she drove up to the first window after him, and the cashier told her that the person ahead of her paid for her food, she was really embarrassed. But the story doesn't end here. Second window, he showed the cashier both receipts and said he paid for both orders, so all the food is his. So he ended up buying the food she ordered while she got nothing. But here's the best part. On that particular day, the line for the drive-thru was especially long, so she had to go to the back of the line and order again.
A red flag is if a guy follows Andrew Tate.
Really?
That's definitely a red flag for me.
Damn, that's my guy. I love Andrew.
I think he got popular because he's very good at spewing hate.
Always be polite, always hold the door open, always give that $10 to charity, even if nobody sees it, even if you don't record it, even if you don't tell anybody. Always help that old lady crossing the road, always have a smile, always train very hard, always work hard and make as much money as possible so you can look after the people you care about. Always be honest, don't lie, don't cheat, because God is watching.
It's a red flag to her because she knows the guy who listened to Tate won't tolerate her BS for 1 single second, and she cannot manipulate them. As a matter of fact, the way she's sitting down is a red flag. As a matter of fact, this girl is the definition of a red flag.
What is the antidote towards toxic masculinity?
What precisely is toxic masculinity, as opposed to, say, toxic femininity?
The moment when you go over a boundary that kind of neglects the freedom of the opposite, well, gender or whatsoever. So
but that would also be toxic femininity. And so part of what's happened in our discourse is that we're required ethically to assume a priori, merely out of politeness, that the utterance toxic masculinity actually constitutes a meaningful phrase. And if you push it, you find very rapidly that it doesn't, because it's very, very, very difficult to define, and definitions actually matter. And so if it's a matter of transgressing against the boundaries of gender-appropriate behavior, it's just as likely to happen among women as among men, in which case it's not toxic masculinity. So.
So sorry. No, you're not. Thank you. You're right, I'm not. LOL. LOL. That's why you're pathetic and work over here. You're right, I'm so pathetic. Obviously, because you don't have to take care of the people inside the restaurant. If someone orders, they wait 22 minutes for a pizza. They should fire me. They fired me. And what was your name again? Marley. Marley. M-A-R-L-E-Y. Is it M-A-R-L-E-Y? Yes. Got it. Yep. Okay, yep. Go ahead, write a review on Yelp for me. What do you thought? Why am I writing Yelp? When someone in the restaurant's eating, you give them their food first, not to the DoorDash. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Have a nice day. You too, raggedy bitch.
Imagine being 45 and arguing with a freaking 20-year-old. Does she not realize that orders have come in 20 minutes prior to hers? Abdul, just get the rocks.
Get the rocks. Yeah. Abdul? Yeah, get the rocks. Get the rocks.
I think it's probably one of the...
Oh, shit.
I don't stop it. Oh.
Hit me back. Absolute. He's got the whole thing on camera.
With the board member.
I have it on camera. I did not. No.
Yelling at him. I can be on the sidewalk. I could do anything. We know exactly where you live. And that one too. Get the hell off the sidewalk now.
Excuse me.
Get off the sidewalk.
Please don't touch me. Why'd you just hit me?
Want me to hit you again?
What the f is wrong with you?
Yeah.
You don't f***ing touch me.
Oh, I'll do what I want. You tried to run
Mom!
on the sidewalk.
Mom!
Hey, come on out, Mom. Have a little talk with Mom.
Bro, she just hit me.
Hey, Mom.
She just hit me.
Come on out. Come on, tell your story.
She just hit me.
Uh-huh.
She just hit me.
You run us down on the
You
hit my child?
Yes, she did. Yes, she just did.
You have a camera? You want to go look at it?
I have a camera. You want to see the video?
Run me down on the sidewalk, and I'm on the board, along with another board member.
Would you like to see the?
No, we're well aware. He tried to run us down on the sidewalk.
I did not.
And lied to us.
I have a video.
It's a great thing that there's a camera strapped to his chest. Good. Come on, boy. Just get it up. Come over here.
I swear to God, if this old lady touches me again.
I can't wait.
If this old lady touches me again, I swear to God.
Shame on Dad that your boys would do.
She hit me. She hit me in the back. She is an absolute. He's got the whole thing on camera.
With the board member.
I have it on camera. I did not. No.
Yelling at him. I can be on the sidewalk. I can do it.
My man said, get inside, just like Jason Bourne.
What's wrong with you? You're the reason. Get out of my face.
You came in my face. Bye.
No, I keep stepping back.
Now you're in my face. Bye.
No, I was not.
Bye. Get out of my face.
You are what is wrong with the freaking world today. People like you are so disrespectful. Girl. Am I in your face? No, I'm not. You were in my face like this.
The husband and the son is just standing there like, yep, that's Karanos, the final boss of Karen's, and she's back at it again.
No.
But give this man credit. He found the secret formula. A new Karen defense is unlocked because using bi was super effective. And gentlemen, on that note, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
This was almost aggravating. I was really like, man, I commend them for their patience. I used to pride myself for being, a patient guy and a nice guy, but I wouldn't even say anything because I don't want to say anything that could be used against me in court.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Hey, he better than me. That's all I can say. He better than me.
That last one was just, she was pushing it.
Of course I am.
The Whatever Podcast, I meant to talk about this sooner. The Whatever Podcast. Are you guys familiar? Have you guys seen that movie about NWA?
No. Yes.
Where the FBI sent the NWA. Wait.
I don't even know what that is.
Straight Outta Compton?
Are you talking about
Straight Outta Compton. Yeah,
their
Straight Outta
song?
Compton.
Okay.
The FBI sent them a letter, which was sort of like a cease and desist almost, like, hey, stop talking about the cops.
You can't do the fuck the police coming straight
Um,
from the underground.
The Whatever Podcast has had its NWA Straight Outta Compton moment. The Department of Homeland Security, oh my God,
What?
has funded a $700,000 study by some university in Arizona comparing. We're going to pull this shit up, bro. It's fucking crazy. And you guys can look into this more. So I'm going to read this tweet. Can you make us bigger, Nick?
Yeah, do you want to go to the other side?
Other side. Actually, so this is massive. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security paid nearly $700,000 to a counterterrorism NGO to intercept and divert Twitter X traffic away from specific individuals in the manosphere. Those people were the Rational Male, Cobra Tate, Fresh and Fit Pod, among others, Whatever Podcast, were specifically named as targets. The DHS Department of Homeland Security TVTP grant funding was given to Arizona State University, home of the McCain Institute. The purpose of the grant was to design a native tool to be used on Twitter to effectively suppress individuals in the manosphere by diverting their audiences away from their content towards counter-messaging content, websites, podcasts, and creators curated by the McCain Institute to counter quote unquote hate speech and misinformation. The U.S. government has named the manosphere as one of the biggest terror threats facing the U.S. They claim this broad network is the main cause of extremely isolated acts of incel-related violence. The conflation, hold on, okay. The conflation of incels with the broader manosphere as a justification for targeted counterterrorism operations, which can include aggressive surveillance and censorship, is part of a disturbing trend. The ever-broadening definitions of terrorism and extremism put forth by the U.S. government poses a very real threat to the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. Even worse, the grant application resulting reports suggest a large-scale collaboration of tech giants, NGOs, and U.S. government agencies to design and implement tools to counter hate and disinformation by diverting web traffic from specific individuals and communities deemed harmful. What is a harmful content according to the U.S. government? White supremacy, anti-government views, foreign terror organizations, i.e. ISIS, and the manosphere are the top 4 terror threats according to the McCain Institute. And we'll look at this. So this is them saying we aim to target the manosphere. And scroll down.
You want to know what we think about it so far?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of bullshit. They tried to divide and conquer. The manosphere is white supremacy.
It was comparing the manosphere to things like white supremacy, ISIS, and what was the other one?
With terrorism. Fuck it.
Right, to actual terrorism. So I've watched 2 of the 4 that they mentioned right at the beginning, and I've seen far worse shit said by women on women's versions of podcasts than the stuff they say about women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why aren't they targeted for anti-terrorist nonsense? Like, the whole thing to me is like, you're taking taxpayer dollars to silence part of the taxpayer base. Something about that seems wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the whole thing is, this is what I'm talking about. Like what I was saying in the last pod we was doing. While we sitting here bickering with each other, white and black, they are trying to emasculate white and black men. For real. Like they are trying to take us out. I swear to God. Like,
hold on, Fife, were you pointing at yourself when Cole said that?
No, actually, I was turning up my microphone, my headset, fucking the volume.
I thought Fife was like, me.
And how dare you?
I really do think they're trying to take out like white, black, and Mexican men in America. Like they trying to emasculate us and have it where the women just run us.
Why do you think they're doing that?
Because you don't have any. Wanting to conquer and take over shit is a man thing. And if I emasculate all of y'all ass, it's less likely you're going to challenge me. You know what I mean? That's
also,
toxic
like,
masculinity. You want to take over my company.
if you were going to put extreme measures into place, the people most likely to revolt and resist will be men. Mm-hmm. So if you can turn the women against men, and men need women. Women also need men. Mm-hmm. But if you were to turn the women against men and tell the women that you're right in everything that you're doing and you're always right and nothing you do can be possibly wrong, while at the same time tearing men down and emasculating men and what's the word? Prompting up men who take on feminine characteristics, you end up with a generation of incredibly weak-willed men who are easily malleable and who will not fight back. And the actual strong men, if they're in the minority, they're just gonna, it's the fight or flight thing. If I can't survive here and I can't fight to survive here, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah.
So you'll end up with the wealthy men and the strong men who have enough of a power base. They're just going to exfil. And then the rest of the weak men will sit here in whatever dystopian nightmares on the horizon with the women who helped to usher it in, essentially. Or not. Who knows? That's all theory crap. This is wild conspiracy theories. And also entertainment. Nothing I say is to be taken as
can we call it conspiracy theory at this point? I mean, the views and points are vicarious of metaphor.
No.
He's not being compliant with the program.
No, but this is satire and comedy.
This is
just
banned in the USA. So just come on and say it. Y'all women need to stop being stupid cunts.
Whoa.
The views expressed by Mr. Fife.
Yeah, the views and comments expressed by Mr. Fife do not equal to the same views of Man USA.
Shut the fuck up.
Also, what I said there was satire. So
yeah, you know, ever since that pod we did where we were talking about how rap lyrics can be used against people legally, which I still stand by that being the most ridiculous rule ever. I think starting every pod with a disclaimer, like this is all to be taken as satire and comedy, just in case something slips through and they're like, yeah, right here you said such and such. You're like, hey, in the beginning I said it was satire. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I get that. We are fucked.
Banned in the USA for real.
We are fucked. I don't give a fuck. Come at us. Come at us, bitch. All right. If you want to fuck with me, my name is Sabius.
You know where to find me.
Right.
Look for Sabius.
I am also Sabius.
Look, I'm tired of y'all taking my name. My name is Sabius. Stop it.
All right, see. All right, you bastards. Y'all gonna treat me like I'm Negan from The Walking Dead? Because everybody's named Negan. Okay.
We are all Sabius.
Scubus.
Oh shit.
The next podcast I'm gonna have Sabius.
We're all gonna have Sabius as our name tag.
Really spice things up, man. Get it confusing, nice and confusing. Am I Cobra? When you think about it, who just got a Cobra tattooed on them? Not me. Who just got a Cobra tattoo? Wasn't me.
We're all just different emotions of Sabius.
It's because I'm Sabius.
Oh shit! All right.
I've been planning this all year, motherfucker.
So if the FBI is watching, just so you know, we are all Sabius.
I'm just gonna deny everything.
And the real Cobra has a Cobra tattooed on him.
I do not know what the fuck you're talking about. You can pull that shit up on YouTube.
I'm gonna be honest. Everything I've said so far in all of our past and current podcasts, I've been coerced into saying by our leader, Sabius.
Right.
I was pressured and coerced.
I got Stockholm syndrome because of Sabius.
I'm denying everything. I don't know. I don't even know who these people
Also, you
are.
victim blaming.
What a woman.
You gaslight me. You're a narcissist.
This episode's fucked.
This episode is fucked.
I mean, if I calling women outside of their names, Cobras, talking about everything affiliated that's not by law is illegal affiliation.
I wasn't recording on my part.
Oh, here it is. I mean, Karen is the devil. I mean, it's just plain and simple. Can't get out of here.
As usual, I am innocent.
Is that the Morning Star behind you?
I mean, hey, Lucifer Morning Star. That sounds about right.
What is that?
That's some AI generated spaceship or something. I'm so promising the AI and like if I see some cool shit.
Do you mean hell?
I don't mean hell.
It looks like my ass after I eat Taco Bell.
Horizon, I assume, you go into the black hole of space and you see Kara staring back at you laughing.
It's clearly not a black hole.
I'm gonna download that video he sent to the group.
If you look right, that video creepy as fuck.
Shape-shifted reptilian.
If you look right here, you can see there's people like on a mountainside watching whatever that shit is.
The video was showing his true essence. That's why I couldn't keep up. It started off with him being like the peaceful appearing, looking curious, and then it morphed into something evil and demonic, like his true native self.
I'm gonna share the video.
Hashtag Pika Labs.
Hello.
Service of male supremacy, exploring female-supported extreme misogyny on mainstream social media platforms, and then there's a bunch of blah 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 blah. Stop there.
I don't think it's no mistake that they use the word supremacy because they trying to get people, men of color to hear that word. Like, oh, when I think about it, it is white supremacy. Like, because he used that word. Oh my God.
The algorithm curated recommendation discovery feeds of any social media app may have served you up a tweet from the notorious manosphere influencer Andrew Tate lamenting the purported abominable state of masculinity in the West, or a video from the whatever podcast mocking the body count that is the number of sexual partners someone has had of the unforgivably emancipated modern woman.
You're doing something. I love this. This is great, and
Guys,
I can't believe this is my.
This is my NWA. This is my FBI NWA moment. The Department of Homeland Security has funded woke activists, feminists at ASU to deliver a report to them to do
criminology.
to do like actual actionable things.
I'm taking a class
because I talk about body count. Oh no, the horror. The horror.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do what?
That's not what it's about. It's because incels are a
No.
mass terrorist.
Whoa.
They only thought of the whatever.
What are you talking about? We are literally in Isla Vista. We're in what? 7 to 12 people.
We're not going to talk about.
The word's already brought up on the screen, so that's not.
Yeah,
COS
but
if
bro,
you already
like this is like a dating. No.
I get whatever. If anything, whatever.
Bro, do you realize how crazy?
Of it is?
Kiko,
it's a real issue though.
Kiko, you've been on this podcast a bunch of times,
and you never let me talk about this, and it's like actually my one passion that I research.
Okay, but cool,
often.
but bro, this is like a fairly granted. We have some like.
That's why you were only mentioned once in that whole discography.
Yeah, but that's crazy, son.
It's still the people that you
that's
bring
crazy,
on here.
son.
Like you had someone on here tell women that they should fight if they're getting just pulled.
Yeah, that's really reassuring. Just imagine the government writing something about you, and then somebody try to make it like you insignificant. Like they said your name like one time in the terror.
No, this I watching the last half of this. Like she painted herself in a horrible light to me, but the idea that, because what they actually mentioned in what he just read was that they talk about body count. So you mean to tell me if I sit down on a podcast and I talk about how promiscuous a woman is, that's the equivalent of ISIS exploding and blowing people up or trying to bring down the government? That's fucking ridiculous.
That was a huge reach.
It's nowhere near the same, or it's the equivalent of, okay, body count. I don't want a woman who sleeps with a lot of dudes because she's less likely to be faithful to me. Is the equivalent of white people burning crosses on people's yards and then murdering them. That's that sounds so fucking stupid.
So obviously that sounds dumb, right? Let's talk about something that I never heard of, like a talking point that I never heard of. When this kind of shit get talked about, we all know that this is stupid, right? We all know where we stand at or whatever, when it comes to this. But are we on the wrong side of history?
I feel
honestly.
I feel very comfortable saying, logically and rationally, if you have a lot of partners, you're less likely, like if you build a habit of sleeping around with a lot of people, you're less likely to one day magically be okay with just one.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a man looking for a monogamous relationship, he's probably better off with somebody who doesn't have the propensity towards sleeping with lots of men. I don't think that's a controversial take. So I don't in what way would that be the wrong side of history?
Well, what I'm saying is, when I say, are we on the wrong side of history? All it is, manosphere talk and all it is, talking about a woman's body count and talking about women like her who don't understand accountability, going against the woke movement. Like, are we on the wrong side of history? When the smoke clears, are people like us going to be standing after? Because, I mean, they picking up a lot of steam with this shit.
Oh, are we gonna win? No, we're gonna lose for sure.
Okay. So
And
we
then
are on the wrong
oh,
side.
we are on the wrong side of history because whoever wins writes history.
Mm-hmm.
So that will just paint us in the light. Yeah. So yes, 100%.
Okay.
Like morally, no. Morally, we're on the right side of history, I would say.
Right.
But when the dust settles, no, actually, I would say in the immediate
Are they winning?
In the immediate future, they will win.
Do you think they winning now?
100%. But when society collapses because there's no one to hold it up anymore, so maybe in the next 50 to 70 years, we'll be back on the right side of history. Okay. But in the immediate future, we're on the wrong side of history, if that makes any sense. That's just my take on
it. Sabius and Mr.Fife?
I agree with Sabius' statements.
Yeah, because but I already said, what about my statement? I'm Sabius too.
I also agree with the other Sabius' statements.
Okay. Sabius is having
Sabius Prime?
Yeah, so based on what Sabius said, if he wants a woman's point of view, he'll look out the kitchen window. Black people were better off as slaves, and white men have little fucking penises and need to stop fucking bitching about racism and all of this other shit. Go Trump, go. He's a Trump supporter. By the way, y'all, I'm all jokes aside. Somebody just called me a Trump supporter the other day for talking about Obama, and I told them, thank God it was a sensible group of people around this time, because before I can even say it, somebody was like, he never even mentioned Trump. I said, don't, you know what? Don't worry about it. I said, because we talk about this shit on our podcast. This has happened to me before. It's an inside joke. Like, for some reason, and the person tried to rationalize and was like, because when you talk so much about Obama, you know, you just figure like, oh, okay, well, he must be a Trump supporter. I'm like, but how the fuck do you figure that? Yeah, when I never even mentioned Trump. I didn't even get to mention Trump yet.
Incredibly stupid. He's indoctrinated, is what it is.
Yeah.
His brain is so programmed that you're either red or blue. Yeah. You're either Trump or Obama. You're either, you know, he only has those two options.
It wasn't as funny as it was the first time, because somebody was like, his boy was like, what the fuck? He never even mentioned Trump. I'm like, it's fine. I've been through this before. For some reason, when I say something about Obama, I'm a fucking Trump supporter. You know what I'm saying? And then in the end, when I was paying for my shit, he was like, him and this girl who's behind the counter, he was like, to keep it real, I ain't want Obama neither, but you know, he was the lesser of the evil. And I said, but it's still evil, and I winked my eye at him. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, back to this shit. I forgot to tell y'all that, because I told them the boys get a kick out of this. Because we talk about this shit all the time. It's an inside joke about how I was in another situation talking about Obama, and everybody was like, he's a Trump supporter. And I swear to God, like, when I make a skit out of it, I'm going to make it much more dramatic. But the way it felt, like, when they said that, the way I imagined, like, the fire alarm came on, the sprinklers was on me, everybody started running and screaming and tripping over each other. And I'm just sitting there like, when did I ever mention Trump? Like, what is wrong with y'all? But yeah, I think we're on the wrong side of history too.
Are you truly, bottom line?
Am I what?
Are you a real Trump supporter? Just be honest.
I did tell the guy who left out the store with me that I like Trump better than Obama, and he couldn't believe that I said that. I said, because I'm tired of being bullshitted. You know what I'm saying? And I know that all black people feel like Trump was a bullshit. I'm like, but at least he said what he wanted. This motherfucker just said what everybody told him to say. You know what I'm saying? At least he said what he wanted. I mean, it's so bad. It's like, to me, President of the United States is like domestic violence, right? Nobody wants to be assaulted. Like, I'm not going to even use women as an example. I'm saying me as a man. Imagine me being assaulted by a woman, right? I'm always getting beat up by this girl. But then I get beat up by the next girl, but every time she beat me up, I get a dozen roses. Now, I do know that domestic violence is bad all the way around. I'm just saying, at least I got some roses from this motherfucker. This motherfucker didn't buy me no roses. Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I would want the one who buys me roses to be in a relationship with me because they get me roses. I'm just saying, at least that's one thing. Now, maybe the next time I get a relationship, the person doesn't beat me and I get roses out of that. You know, I'm making steps. I went from a president who was a good talker and did fucking shit to a president that said whatever the fuck he wanted. Some of the shit I didn't agree with. Some of the shit was even about me, but at least he was telling the truth.
I just do not like that analogy at all.
I mean, listen, Mr. Fife said the C word. We already in trouble, bro. Like, we might as well, like, and I said me. I didn't say a woman. The domestic violence is not just owned by women, you know.
Who's Mr. Fife?
I hear you. It's
They're all
just that
saviors.
analogy. I was like, hey, look, what if you was getting fucked in the ass by a dude?
That's
Would
a
you
lot.
rather him fuck your ass? Or would you rather
That's a lot.
your ass?
Hey, that nigga Karen said that's a lot.
That's a lot.
No, but then, I mean, if
you said because they gave roses, you prefer the guy kiss you on the cheek afterwards.
Hey, listen, man. It don't matter what I say and how you want to put it, because at the end of the day, I'm Sabian. So if you want to say I'm getting fucked in the ass and Sabian and getting roses after that, so be it. So be it.
You know what? Fuck. Oh, no. You know what? Change my name right now.
You know, if you want to make light of domestic violence and Sabians and use it as an analogy for bullshit like who should be president, go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? Go right ahead, bro. Because as Cobra, I would never do something like that. This is fucking bullshit, man. I don't give a fuck if this is what I should have just skipped to the, got to the chase and said what I really wanted to say, which is I don't give a fuck if I'm on the wrong side of history. I know it's right.
I was about to say, I can only follow my
You gonna share your name and survive. That's
Hey, oh shit. Hey, in the comment section, just everybody say I am Sabius, man. We are all Sabius. Sabius is the new Negan. Straight up. Oh, you the Cobra Commander? Oh, y'all want to start that bullshit? Now when you go to jail for some shit that I done did, I'm pulling this footage up. Oh my Lord, this is fucking stupid. Yeah, and that's why we banned in the USA, because I know we not gonna last long, because this is some shit right here. Like, look at what we doing, bro. This is fucking crazy. This nigga really put himself as the
through not Brian, but he said it right there in that seat.
Bro,
he was sitting
yeah,
right there,
but
and
that's
he said
not.
it.
Yeah, but I don't co-sign that.
I'm not saying you, but
I don't co-sign that.
You don't co-sign it, but they're still
No, stop, Kiko. Stop.
Can I say something?
Nope, stop. As a man, I am only responsible for what I say. I don't know how to be responsible for what everybody, both the men and the women,
it doesn't
come on this podcast. I'm as a man.
They didn't say Brian Atlas says things
as
that
a
are
man.
controversial. They said
As a
on the
man,
whatever podcast.
stop. As a man, I'm responsible for what I say. I don't know how to be responsible for what some dude who's fucking like 7 White Claws deep says on the fucking podcast. We have girls come on the podcast, say the most man-hating, misandrous shit.
That's not
a
either.
representation of me. So like, people come on this podcast.
It's a representation of the whatever podcast, though.
What's a No, what he said.
If they say that up on your podcast, it's a representation of your podcast. Especially when your little minions go and repost it over and over and over again.
I don't I'll repost that. I think
didn't say
that
you,
looks
I said your
terrible.
minions.
Okay, whatever. In any case, that
I want her to shut up.
That's what I said. By the end of this, she looks so bad. I already didn't like her very much. But it's like her art, like when she just tried to quote the article, she changed how she quoted it to try to fit her narrative. It's like you can't just rewrite history. The article specifically was talking about body count, and now she's saying, well, the problem was something this one dude said one time. It's like that's not what the article's about, bitch. Like, stop making shit up.
But then she's talking about like it's the podcast in the whole, but before she said she was speaking on what individuals said. I think what he's trying to say is, bitch, this is my podcast. And whatever happens is on me. And she's like, no, it's a collective. And he like, no, I bring people on and they say different things. And I don't know. I just want her to shut up. You know,
Yeah.
not because she's a woman, just because she's a fucking idiot.
Her argument
She's
makes no
saying
sense.
some stuff that, just because you have somebody on your show doesn't make the show the person that was on the show. I mean, it's just like now, like everybody's pretending like they Sabias. It's only one real Sabias, and that's me. Y'all other fake clones and the other wannabe Sabiases. Oh, actually, I should say I'm Cobra Commander.
I was about to say, I don't know if you Sabias. Your name clearly says Cobra Commander.
I mean, you got you got multiple Cobras tattooed on you, so and you're a Gemini. You're a Gemini. That's why you got two of them.
I'm a Gemini. I'm Cobra Commander, and
see, you don't realize what's going on. See, I got the kind of fucking life where you should want to be me, and I'm gonna push the shit on you. See, you try to make sure everybody know that I'm not Sabias. I'm gonna give you Cobra. You want it? You got it, motherfucker. You are Cobra.
You got the Cobra in your background.
Yeah, but you
everyone
got it
knows
tattooed on you.
Huh?
You got it tattooed on you. You more Cobra
Nobody
than
can see that on the
but
pod.
you just admitted to having it. That's all we need to know.
That's plenty of snakes.
Yeah, that's right.
I got more than one type of snake.
You the main one.
That's why I'm the Cobra Commander.
Because you wanted. Yeah, but I don't like this girl. Apparently, she's a regular on there.
Yeah, I've seen her on there like maybe 3 times.
I hate this podcast, so I don't watch.
No,
I've never seen this podcast before.
Why do you hate this podcast?
His voice annoys me, and usually the people on his podcast are obnoxious.
Well, most of these kind of panel podcasts, they are obnoxious. You got
whatever's the
fucking wrong.
But that's just my opinions as Savius.
Whatever's like a step above Fresh and Fit. So like Fresh and Fit is like Jerry Springer. Whatever's like, I don't know.
See, I love Jerry Springer.
Then you would love Fresh and Fit because it is a shit show.
She's forcing having an opposing narrative. It's like she's trying to make shit that don't make sense make sense.
She's glad. She's like I won't say she is. She seems to be what I imagine a hardcore feminist to be. Anything that supports her narrative is good. Anything that is against her narrative is bad.
Right.
The Whatever podcast isn't against feminism, but it talks about the things that women do that are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
As a
feminazi.
As a feminazi, she can't condone anybody saying that a woman could possibly do anything wrong. Everything they do is good, even whoring. And literally anything is okay and should be okay. But it's not okay for men to do whatever they want.
And
only women can do whatever they want.
If you look around this panel too, like they're all agreeing with her.
Well, because it's groupthink. They have a collective brain. They don't have an individual brain. So she's the loud version of the collective brain.
Except the girl to his left, she's not present in anything right now. She looks gone.
He usually has some base.
You know what's crazy about like?
Actually, I would disagree with almost everything Kara said in this particular thing. Like, because she said earlier, just from this conversation, I've never watched whatever. So if Candace is talking about a history of whatever podcast, I don't know. I'm just going by what she just said in the clips that we just listened to. She said that if a woman got on the show and was saying some of the stuff that about men, she would agree that that was wrong. So I don't think she's taking it from the side of the man-woman perspective. However, I do think she is confused on whoever the show is supposed to, if a guest is on the show, they're supposed to, that's like the
representation of the
the
show.
representation of the show.
Do you
She
think
obviously doesn't know what she's talking about.
Do you think do you think she's confused, or do you think she's actively, purposely misrepresenting the argument in order to support her own narrative? Because those are two different things.
I honestly think he should let the rest of this play.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, because she got pretty bad.
It's the fucking NWA moment for the Whatever podcast.
And
The
I'm
DHS
happy to see
$700,000 funding to say, well, the Whatever podcast talks about body count. This is leading to. Shut the fuck up, bro. That's ridiculous.
You're naive to think
it's just the audience that wants to hear it.
Exactly. It's,
Bro,
it's the fact that you guys
Well,
are
you
building
you
a
enable it.
You
enable the behavior.
Bro, you guys.
He brought it up, not us. We didn't bring up this shit. He brought it up. So what do you mean?
Can you believe, bro? Fucking Kiko over here siding with the feds. What the fuck?
Can you believe the criminology
rat.
major would be agreeing with this? Because I've done so much research on these incels. They literally have platforms. They have their own little, it's not even Discord, it's their own apps where they get together. Then you know the guy who drove through people in Toronto? He did it in the name of, what's his fucking name? He did it in the name of, he said they were friends on their little shit.
Zip
They're
it.
playing it out.
Zip it good. Hold on. Oh. Zip it good, Kiko.
I mean,
zip it.
Censoring.
Zip it good.
You're
okay.
censoring me.
I'm just saying, guys, those of you watching, the reason I bring it up, I thought you guys should be aware of it. Guys, we're on the chopping block here. These they're coming for us, boys. I need my, I should have kept my fucking soldier uniform on. Gentlemen.
Change your outfit like 5 times. So many outfit changes, I love it.
Gentlemen.
And they didn't say they were taking you down. They said they're diverting it to more positive male influences.
Positive.
Gentlemen. Watch the Whatever podcast while you still can, because these NGOs, they're coming after me. There's the Vice hit piece. There's the fucking New York Post hit piece. Gentlemen, if you like the Whatever podcast, I need your support, boys. You guys are my fucking soldiers. You're my army.
You're his minions.
You guys are my army. Okay, guys? I need you.
You're
listen.
like Gru.
Who?
Gru.
Who the fuck? I don't know that reference.
I'm going
Listen.
to see the moon.
Gentlemen, I know I joke around a lot.
Oh my God.
Gentlemen, I need some war music.
Brian, hurry.
Wait, Madison, rejoin the table. Rejoin the table, Madison.
Brian, you gotta try it.
Hold on, just wait.
You're the best.
I'm gonna wrap up soon. Okay.
This is the perfect moment.
Listen, guys. In 2024, we are going to mobilize. I need soldiers. I need fucking soldiers, guys. We're going to mobilize. We're going to get organized. Those uniforms, that one doesn't fit me very well. We're going to... Holy...
Madison. Right when you left, we felt so bad.
Actually, I think you can stop it. I think it's just more of this
I was
nonsense.
just about to say, I'm tired of listening to them, but I think that was childish of him to play that shit while she was talking.
Yeah, he was like, that's why I was like, is that him? It was like, shut up, bitch. I was like,
No, that was him playing on the soundboard.
He wouldn't shut up.
Yeah,
I will say, I do
that
think yeah.
You could shut the fuck up.
Yeah. They're both kind of in the wrong. I would say overall that just because you have a person on your show doesn't represent the actual show. I mean, that's why they have those disclaimer in the beginning. So, like what Kara was talking about earlier when we joked about having a disclaimer for us. It's like you have that disclaimer. It's to let people know, like, just because this person's on your show does not represent the thoughts and the comments and the feelings of whatever show. You can have anybody on your show. If I don't know, if we have a white supremacist on our show that says kill all black people or whatever, doesn't mean that we all think we agree with him and we should kill all black people. I'm just saying. Now,
Like, look at Joe
I think
Rogan.
she was off on that.
Joe Rogan had thousands of people he's interviewed on his show. There's no way he could be responsible for everything that all of them have said. It's ridiculous. The entire argument is bad. It's a bad faith argument, and she knows it. She just has somebody on her side, so she's just trying to bite into that and use it as a weapon. And she wants to support them because they're against her enemy.
I think the more that I hate to be this guy, but I think the more that the powers to be dislike you, the more you become responsible for everything.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Because they're trying to get you.
Yep.
It makes sense. Like,
but if it's in their agenda, yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
The problem I have though is like with people who fit into the mold that I consider like those hardcore feminists. It's like your argument doesn't even have to make sense to you or to anybody outside of you. Like if you say your argument out loud to 100 people and all of them say it's dumb, then maybe you have a dumb argument. Like comparing the manosphere to fucking ISIS and white supremacy. Like
I think that's insensitive.
I don't even know how somebody could print that.
You know what that puts me in the mind of, and now I'm about to say something touchy. That's kind of like in the same vein of when people say being an alcoholic or a drug addict is a disease. I think that's like really insensitive to somebody who's got stage 4 cancer. They can't sit in the fucking, rehabilitation center for 30 days and not have cancer anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people just lay it on too thick to land their point or to try to reach to you to make you understand how much this subject means to them. Like, I can't be like, not having my money on time is equivalent of being raped. Like, what? Like Kanye West said, I too know what it feels like to have a foot on my neck because I didn't get my, like, when he said that, I was like, wow. Like, he said he know how George Floyd felt because of that. And I thought that was crazy. And that's kind of like, nowadays, that's kind of like what everybody do. They try to, when they speak out, they want to reach into your emotions and use the most ludicrous shit to land their point.
And then blaming the manosphere for incels is equally ridiculous. Number one, involuntarily celibate men have been a thing forever. Men who couldn't have sex or procreate or get women. That has always been a thing. Mm-hmm. And if anybody was to blame for men not being able to go out, meet women, and have sex, it would be the women who are not having sex with them, not the men. I haven't watched like a ton of manosphere content, but from what I've seen, all of them say, hey, if you want women, become a better man. Like go out, get a job, work towards something, build a business, make yourself better, get in shape, and then you get women. That's how it works. So the involuntary celibates certainly aren't being created by that space. Like that doesn't even make sense. Like that's what I'm saying. The arguments that they're using to try to divert traffic away from the manosphere, it just is a bad argument on all sides. And they spent 700 fucking grand on that shit. Crazy.
They could have gave us that money.
I'd have taken it. I'd have taken it happily.
Okay. What did the two Sabias say?
Sabius Prime and Sabius Second.
I'm Cobra Commander. I don't know what you're talking about. Sabius, also known as Fife, down here below.
You know, I'm very much in line with what Commander Caritas was saying.
So he's a hybrid of me and himself.
I mean, I don't know. It's really a touchy one. I do think it's kind of a stretch to try to say the manosphere is like white supremacy or
That was
ISIS.
crazy.
I mean, that's pretty nutty, but
well, that covers it though. That makes anybody who doesn't like terrorists, by saying that makes them not like you, right? And anybody who doesn't like racists, that makes them not like you. That was covering a lot of ground, but the crazy thing is there's just as many black people in the manosphere as it is white. So I don't know if a whole bunch of black guys gonna rally with white supremacy group. Just a guess.
I just don't see how you sandwich those things together.
It's a
But why
tactic.
not? Why not? It's people who will believe it. Why not? Listen, bro.
Right, it's a tactic. If
Right.
you
We're not in the old days,
it,
Carrotus. We can say anything we want. You talk about the same society where women can make songs like, fuck a man, get the bag, this, you don't need a man, and be married at the same time. They're saying this to women who rally behind it, and they themselves are married. Imagine us saying, fuck bitches, the family structure doesn't mean nothing, and money means absolutely nothing. And as we're saying this, we're married, happily married, and as a billionaire. Like, what the fuck? And then it's a whole bunch of fucking broke people paying for our seminars as we saying this. Like, why not? You can say, we at a time where you could say anything and it's gonna stick to somebody. I could say the fact that Caritas don't understand my point. We done had 3 talking points. Mr.Fife has agreed with what you said, right? Each time, and hasn't mentioned me. I feel like he's abusing me at this point. He's gaslighting me.
Good.
I feel like he sexually assaulted me by not agreeing with me. Somebody will feel it. Like, I felt the same thing. Like, that's what we in society. I don't give a fuck if somebody gets mad. I take in enough content to see stupid shit like that.
Yeah, that is true.
All day long.
I saw a video very similar to what you just said. Like, you committed violence against me because of what you just said. He's like, that's not what violence means. But I felt like it was violence.
Somebody's gonna hear what me and you just said and say, we sound fucking stupid. We sound ridiculous. It's like, you think I'm pulling this out my ass? You're not paying attention to what's going on. Like, for real. And by the way, I don't feel a way about the whole thing with Mr.Fife because I pulled that on my ass because he actually did agree with me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, the fact that he didn't make it as clear as he did with you, I can become a victim if I wanted to.
Well, you can become a victim in every circumstance, always.
Now, in this day and age, now you take 20 years from now, we'll be like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? But then they didn't cover that ground by say victim shaming. So you can't tell me how I feel. Like, that's where we at in this society. Like, you can't tell me how I feel. Like, I can tell you how you feel, bitch. I can tell you a fucking nut. If you think that by him not agreeing with every talking point you had is equivalent to SA, you fucking slow. Like, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna
go out on the limb.
I'm gonna go out on that limb. I'm gonna down that hill every time. I'm gonna be on the wrong side of history You will not shovel that bullshit down my throat and tell me it's sugar. I will never go for that shit. I've thought about it. Like, can I, you know what? If I just go along and get along, I can make a lot of money.
You could.
I can't do it though. I don't never want to be as stupid as I see these motherfuckers being online.
How much money are we talking though?
250 million I kick it around.
Oh fuck, I could do it.
Ice cream. Bang bang. Call of Duty. Warzone.
And Sabius, you can take your damn name back.
Damn.
By not never doing it, we mean like is the number up there. I have to be, you gotta remember, I gotta be able to look myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 2/4 billion. You getting 4 fucking guys. Now we talking whack off chair material at this point.
Yeah, we are.
Y'all better think about that shit.
I'll settle up for some dough. Fuck.
Is being on, you know what? That's another question. Is being on the right side? When has being on the right side been profitable? Everybody as a black man, everybody I've seen on the right side has been murdered.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Is there such thing as a right side anymore though?
Karen is saying, yeah, that'll happen.
That's how they discourage dissent.
Oh,
You gotta make
shit.
some examples.
Oh my God. And what you say, Mr.Fife? What is the right side nowadays?
I don't know if for any situation if there's such thing as a right side, because I feel like the right side is just whatever narrative you believe, but some people can believe in different narratives, which makes the right side different to everybody.
The problem is the other side wants to demonize and eradicate the other side. Like, you don't agree with what I'm saying, so I think you should be canceled. I don't want to see you make any money. I want to see you file for bankruptcy. Hey, and if you die, I'm gonna just tweet out or put on Instagram like, hey, this is the same guy that said X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean?
Back to me and Sabius' old time debate.
What's that?
Objective reality versus subjective reality.
Mm.
Because if there's an objective reality, there's certainly a right and a wrong side of history. Now, whether people ever actually see what the actual right side of history is, who really knows? But if you believe in objective reality, then there's definitely a right and a wrong side.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to a guy who hate the saying, let's agree to disagree. I'll be like, no, bitch, we stand here until we figure it out. Till we figure out which one of us is wrong. We're staying here.
Well, what's
there is no
agree
wrong,
to disagree?
Right. Subjective reality is everyone's going to be open to their own interpretations. That's all subjective reality is.
Mm-hmm.
But in objective reality,
No. We are not going into this again.
That's not that. Oh no, when you said it at first, I was like, "This is a big circle. We're about to run around this motherfucker the rest of the night."
We're not
Next
doing
video.
We're not doing this. Sabius
Next.
Sabius already in a hostile gesture, like he
Yeah.
got his arms
I
crossed.
didn't even
Like,
say anything. I just said the subjective reality
You're ready
is
for
open to
battle.
everybody's interpretation.
nope. Listen to the sound.
Would y'all agree that a subjective reality is just open to everybody's interpretation?
You honestly want to know my opinion?
Let's agree to
You
disagree.
honestly,
Next.
you honestly.
I'm not asking you if you believe in objective reality over subjective reality.
Do you honestly want to know
I'm
my opinion?
only asking you, would you agree that subjective reality is open to everyone's own interpretation?
Do you want to honestly know my opinion? Well, do you?
You could. Shut the fuck up.
Syndrome. If this were real and not a conspiracy theory, surely we would have footage demonstrating that an alarming number of people just dropped down dead and collapsed out of nowhere. Oh, we do have that footage. Well, let's have a look at it. Hello there, you awakening wonders. Thanks for joining us on our voyage to truth and freedom. It's a voyage where we will use many utensils and tools, such as video footage of people suddenly collapsing for no reason in sporting events, on the news. All of a sudden, we now know, as a result of the release of insurance premium figures, that excess deaths in America are beyond even the peak of the pandemic, even though the pandemic is over. We are aware now that in the first 9 months of 2023, I can't believe this is true, but it is, that as many young Americans died as died in all the American wars from Vietnam to present day. And the only reason that we know this information is because insurance companies have reported on it. Let's have a look at a compilation of footage of people dropping dead, collapsing, falling over, often curiously and with hideous schadenfreude, when talking about the efficacy of a certain little medication.
I don't mean to brag, but I want you to know, double vaxxed, booster, never got COVID, clearly, Jesus loves me the most. Seriously. So nice, so nice.
I still find that one pretty disturbing. Of course, we were all subject to an enormous propaganda campaign that was completely immersive, plainly coordinated, so it's no wonder that many people felt that they were making a moral and ethical choice by taking those medications. Indeed, that's the way that it was presented, in spite of a complete lack of clinical evidence that those medications were effective in stopping transmission. Quite the opposite, as a matter of fact.
Comedian Heather McDonald collapsed over the weekend during a show.
Management saying she suffered a skull fracture in the fall.
The CDC has confirmed higher than normal cases
of heart inflammation.
Wait a minute. She really fell out after saying that?
I said that.
It looked like a skit.
Yeah, it looked like she got unplugged. Like, it was like she was a robot. She got unplugged and she literally just fell over.
What the fuck? Hold on.
Booster, brag, but I want you to know, double vaxxed, booster, never got COVID, clearly, Jesus loves me the most. Seriously. So nice, so nice.
I still find that one pretty disturbing. Of course, we were all subject to an enormous propaganda campaign that was completely immersive, plainly coordinated, so it's no wonder that many people felt that they were making a...
The timing was scary because it was almost like the government either unplugged her for saying that or God punished her for being arrogant. That's scary.
Yeah.
You think the government can unplug us like that?
And if you've been vaccinated, that was a joke. This is satire. This is comedy.
Yeah, it's satire. Please don't erase. Listen, I want everybody to know I'm not having suicidal thoughts.
Right. Just not doing the amputation. I would never kill myself.
I'm healthy. You know what I mean? And if you really want to know, I'm Sabius.
Moral and ethical choice by taking those medications. Indeed, that's the way that it was presented, in spite of a complete lack of clinical evidence that those medications were effective in stopping transmission. Quite the opposite, as a matter of fact.
Comedian Heather McDonald collapsed over the weekend during a show.
Management saying she suffered a skull fracture in the fall.
The CDC has confirmed higher than normal cases
of heart inflammation in 16 to 24-year-olds.
Service members later developed myocarditis.
You take all of the vaccines since 2010 and you compare 2021, this thing blows through the roof.
Experts say more and more younger women are suffering from stroke.
Sorry, Airman, I'm not feeling very well right now.
80% of the cases have been in young boys.
One of the decisions that we were invited to make during this period was to sacrifice our own health and our own freedom in order to preserve the sanctity of life of other members of our community, in particular the vulnerable, which is a principle, of course, that anybody would support, which is why that principle was continually amplified. But now we are beginning to see that what played out is that young people were invited to make a sacrifice way beyond taking a medication to protect older people. It was a sacrifice that was going to literally impact them. Certainly the information around myocarditis and pericarditis suggests that, as well as new available information around sudden death syndrome and the excess deaths in the United States of America, as well as the over 1 million reported adverse events from taking the vaccines.
The 14-year-old's heart stopped.
A 15-year-old boy died
after receiving his first dose.
16-year-old was rushed to the hospital. Loved ones say the 17-year-old's heart stopped.
The elite runner was rushed to the hospital after suffering a heart attack.
A high school football player has died.
I think we live in a culture now of technocracy. Technocracy is governance by experts. experts. Of course, it has components of digital dictatorship. But the reason I want to focus on this experts component is, do you remember at the beginning of the pandemic, or when you first saw people collapsing on sports fields, thinking, this seems a bit weird, this is not usual? And then the media reported, there's always been a number of sudden deaths. You saw that. You saw them trying to shut that down. You saw them try to frame it as potentially results of long COVID. You saw the incredible efforts that legacy media outfits went to mitigate, control, dampen down naturally emergent concern. I'm starting to think that our own common sense, our intuition and understanding is not as valuable as the information that could be granted by a NASA scientist when it comes to building a rocket, or an expert in agriculture when it comes to the cycles and expertise required to grow crops. But when it comes to a general understanding of reality, I think we are able to use common sense and intuition, personal understanding, communication between one another to establish narratives that seem perfectly plausible. For example, the idea that introducing a vaccine during a pandemic that couldn't possibly have been trialed for long-term effects because they hadn't had a long time to trial it all seemed pretty obvious to us. Increasingly, I'm noticing how common sense is being dismissed precisely because elites, as the word suggests, don't like ordinary people, see themselves as separate from ordinary people. In fact, you can't make any arguments for censorship and controlling hate speech without saying, first of all, we have an understanding.
I like to point out that this guy has on a fucking skull cap with an army fatigue shirt on, a Parthos plants and about 6 books behind him, and got 6.7 million subscribers. Like, he don't have a big production team or nothing. It's just him.
He was super well known before he started podcasting.
He used to be at Nickelodeon at one point.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy.
I don't know about Nickelodeon, but he used to.
What's his name?
Oh shit.
His name is Russell Brand.
Russell Brand. Yeah, he was known as like a super womanizer. He did all the drugs. Like,
yeah, he used to hold the Nickelodeon Awards every year. He was really big when in like the 2000s.
I got a lot of respect for him. He's got a lot of subscribers, and it's just him. It's just the muscle. It's not a big production team.
He wasn't forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Mm. Yeah.
He's also good friends with some big podcasters and stuff too, so that helps.
It's a nice setup.
Of
what? But he's actually, I like his podcast. Like he covers a lot of. He calls like the regular news the legacy media, and he tries to cover stuff that they like. Because have you guys heard about all these people? Like, more people have died from just collapsing than died during the pandemic. Did you guys know that shit was going on?
No.
I didn't know that shit was going on. So
yeah, I heard about it.
You would think if that was important, everybody would hear about it. It would be everywhere. Like, people just dropping dead out of nowhere. People just falling out, cracking their skulls open, having heart attacks, and surviving. That's just the death.
I feel like as tight-lipped and quiet as Sabius has been, he's vaxxed. is rather you vaxxed or not? Is that private?
I'm vaxxed.
I'm vaxxed. It don't bother me. I mean, bottom line, I think when the pandemic was going, I think everyone should justify their reason or not reason of getting vaccinated. I understand from both sides. I mean, especially from a Black person, how the government did Black people. I mean, they gave them syphilis, they gave them. So I understand not trusting the government.
Than that, they basically said this shit we was more prone to it with the
and even with, like you said, more recently. So I understand why some people are against the vaccine. I also understand I guess the fear and
it was some scary
scientific
shit.
Yeah, it was a lot of people basically in fear. Like, basically where I was in, they basically was like, look, we gonna give it to the kids because we don't want the kids to die and stuff. And then after that, then it was like, if the kids get the vaccine, then then the adults should get it too, since they don't want, you don't want to spread it to the kids or the kids spread it to you. Kids and germs are like hand in hand. So I understand it from both sides. Now, so I will never tell anybody they're wrong or right for getting the vaccine or not getting the vaccine. I think everyone has to make a justification and understand from their own thing what they should do. I'm against people who are against getting the vaccine or for getting the vaccine or for whatever reason. Like it's, if you want to get it because you believe in this being safe and helping your family, then that's fine. If you don't trust the government or whatever, I will say on both sides, I think it's plausible. I think it's plausible in either situation. I can see how, the government, and I do believe the government does it to make money. They medicine in general is, to make money and stuff. But I also think that the government has some sort of, I guess, sense to, like, we can't just wipe out everybody. So
I mean, it's how fun is ruling over the dead? You know what I mean?
Right.
I just got it because work told me I had to get it, or else I couldn't go to work.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
A lot of people did that.
But not to go off topic, I just noticed because I was watching Cobra Commander talk over here.
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice his background? His dude has 6 fingers.
Yes, that's from the vaccine.
It's the it's the I know the devil not talking after his shit. His event horizon background going back into the black hole of space with the devil.
Damn, man, that's kind of crazy that all these people was collapsing and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
I know it was a concern. I was reading on an article about like Formula One drivers might have like a heartbeat monitor thing in case that were to happen during a race, so they don't fucking smash through a wall at 200 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to avoid that. I think I won't say that. I'll say it's possible that part of the reason it's quiet is because the people in charge of the media are behind it. No. Wild conspiracy theories. This is all just satire and comedy.
Listen, those comments are only made and supported by Sabius.
That you will never understand. That is already a step towards technocracy, dictatorship, an assumption that you are not in the role of an autonomous adult, you are in the role of a subject, a kind of servile child whose food has to be inspected and chewed before given to you. That is a dynamic that I reject, and I think increasingly that we're right to reject that dynamic because so many things that we sort of collectively felt together have proven to be true over time. Hey, what if these measures are somehow beneficial to establishment interests and generate profits while enabling them to introduce regulation that controls the lives of ordinary people seemingly legitimately and for our own safety? What if that's what's behind this? Well, I suppose then you'd start seeing footage of people dropping dead on sports fields. Well, here is that footage.
Collapsing in the middle of the game.
Collapsing during the game.
Collapsing on the tennis court.
Suddenly collapsing.
The player collapsed
and
died after collapsing.
He collapsed. He collapsed.
It seems that there's a second player who's collapsed. This is unusual. Never seen anything like this. Yeah, what's going on?
Sharp rise in unexplained deaths during the pandemic.
The number of deaths with unknown causes has gone up over the last 3 years.
Deaths that are not listed as COVID-related.
I'm sorry, I'm feeling really dizzy.
Healthy young people are dying suddenly from a mysterious syndrome.
Sudden adult
death syndrome.
SADS is an umbrella term to describe unexpected deaths in young people.
There is some evidence that some sort of delayed reaction.
Mentioning vaccines and an umbrella together is crazy. Welcome to Resident Evil.
This is kind of what this reminded me of.
Why would the legacy media not investigate this with the same vigour that they've applied to a variety of other subjects that appear to enhance their ability to control dissenting voices and shut down counter-narratives? Why is there a demand for censorship to be enshrined in law from the EU to Ireland to the United Kingdom to the United States of America to Canada? Why has it become so important to control information when the ability to create content like this has just become global and worldwide? It's precisely because information like this, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that all of those athletes died or that all of those athletes were suffering as a result of particular medications, but the data is available now. Excess deaths are rising. The life expectancy in the United States of America is falling, and it isn't because of COVID. Comparable figures are available in the United Kingdom, and once again, the same is true. Sudden deaths, unexpected deaths, excess deaths, all rising, and it isn't because of COVID. Curiously, there is a total lack of appetite to investigate this, even though it seems like there's ample evidence to warrant an investigation. Health agencies are not investigating it. Legacy media organizations are not investigating it. Elsewhere, we've reported on the kind of relationships that exist between big pharma and cable news media, who receive the vast majority of their funding, not only from big pharma, but specifically from Pfizer, just one organization. Have you ever seen Albert Bourla contend with a single difficult question, except for when he was chased by Rebel News through the snowy streets of Davos? Of course you haven't. You've just seen him in puff piece after puff piece. Independent media is vital because it allows these questions to be asked. Were it not for the valuable voices in this space, you wouldn't have a COVID inquiry in the UK. You wouldn't have any dissent at all. You wouldn't have no uptake for the latest COVID booster shots because none of this information would be available. I'm not saying that just because I am an independent media figure, even though I personally know the level of attacks that are likely if you put yourself in a position of dissent. I know it. I know it personally. I'm just one voice in an increasingly powerful space. But the real power is with you, your independent thought, your ability to choose. That's what they are trying to shut down and control. They do not want an awakened, dissenting population investigating the high levels of corruption in their own state, in their own media, and in particular in globalist, corporatist agencies and financial entities. Because if people become aware to that, we will oppose it. They won't be able to control and regulate a population that is mistrustful of its media, its judiciary, its law enforcement agencies, and in particular, the establishment interests that appear to be able to coordinate all of them. You've just seen with your own eyes sufficient evidence to warrant a serious investigation into the impact of the pandemic era, distinct and separate from the impact of COVID itself, whether that's as a result of the rise of heart disease, or people taking their own lives, or mental health, or the collapse of small businesses, or the impact on children's education, and certainly, and perhaps most importantly, the possible impact of certain medical interventions that were highly propagandized, the message of which was amplified, questions weren't asked, dissent was shut down, legitimate experts were shamed and smeared and shut down, and dissenting voices were attacked. This is time for a global reckoning. Let's ensure that 2024 isn't like 2023, a year where ordinary people's views were repressed so that establishment power could be continually magnified. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the...
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful.
He talks really fast. I think he's trying to get as much out in as short a time as possible.
I mean,
but yeah,
like everybody nowadays got the attention span of a fucking gnat, so.
I think that's the drugs. He's always been like that.
He thinks that's the drugs. He did pretty good for somebody who's on drugs.
I feel like
I'm just saying he always seemed kind of hyper. He's always been that energetic person, even when he was doing movies. I just never really been a fan of his comedy. Because he's Brit. And it's not just British, because I do enjoy some British comedy. I just never was a fan of his comedy.
You're a fucking shite.